transporter to Hades, the reformer of hooker whores, and the bronze god, the one, the only, the legendary Chris Bay.
There we are. Good morning to the good people and to the bad people, friends and enemies. And a good morning, boom, shakalaka to all of you out there. I am Chris Base. And this is BaseLine. We congregate every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, 5 a.m. Pacific Time, West Coast. We let them people sleep. And they're probably doing a better thing sleeping anyway, so that's good. Always glad you are there. Once again, thank you for being on board. As we jump into the peanut gallery already before we get started. Saturday morning greetings to you, Barbara Jean. Also, you said you have another Zoominar at 7:30 a.m., my second one of the day. Keep doing that. And good morning to Waldo there. Good morning to Mr. Cannon. How you doing? Thank you for being here. Hey, Diane, how you doing? Diane Hawkins. Wow, that's pretty captivating, dramatic intro. Love it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got to make it do what it do. So a shout out to my man, Cole Johnson, who I dubbed the man scientist for creating my intros and outros in my show. So props to him for doing that. Yeah, man. So let's get some of this tea here. That's good. Let me clear thy throat. And so, as always, when you come on board to be a part of the program, you can call in at area code there at the bottom there. Everything, all the information there at the bottom of the ticker, 312-597-2106. Again, 312-597-2106. Oh, you made it when celebrities in our industry and radio come forward, like Troy Tyler, Troy with an I. Troy Tyler, how you doing? Good morning, Chris. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to you, Troy Tyler. I've been trying to dance with Troy Tyler for a while now. On her stint was a great run at V103. And at the time, let's see, I was at Urban Broadcast Media. And so I would see her online in videos and her in the studio at V103 dancing. And she had this nice big afro at the time, just dancing with the afro. So I want to dance with her and the afro. I invited her on the show on many occasions to come on board to UBM, and I would dance with you and your afro. I never forgot that. And so maybe we could rearrange something down the road. But Troy Tyler, one of my favorite people in the industry. Thank you for being here. Excuse me. That's cool beans. Another good person in the industry. Good morning to Delvin Randall, my brother. What more can I say? Is one thing about in any walk of life, in any industry, because there's a lot of just rap bastards in our industry, but it's nice to know people who are just great people you will hang out with outside of radio. So Delvin, Troy is one of them. And another one that falls in line, I'm a very blessed man, Lisa London. Lisa London, thank you for being here as well. Says good morning to Base Nation. Yes, good morning to the Base Nation. Yes. Tell you, it just in general, Diane I've known since I was 14 years old, which is too long to know somebody. And Barbara Jean I've known for years. Walter. Anyway, everybody else, it's great for everybody to come on board here. It's a wonderful time. Glad to see your name and faces in this place right now. So cheers to all of you. Skol. Oh, that's good tea. Gotta clear the cobwebs out. Ooh wee. Only one rule that I have here. You know what the rule is by now. No peep freaks. Make my peep a peep freak. No, we don't want them. Peep freaks are people, again, who pay taxes, who go about their lives, going to the stores and going probably to sporting events. But at the same time, they love on me, the bronze god that I am, which I completely accepted over the years. And once they see me in person or see me just via right now through the internet, they faint. And I can spiritually pick them up. I can't physically pick them up, but not physically, but I can spiritually just rise. So when they rise back up and dust themselves off and everything else, they realize in the presence of greatness. And so, but if you can't stick and stay for the program, once again, go into the comment section there, what I call the Peanut Gallery, and chime in and do it that way. Nothing wrong with that. It's very simple, very easy. Also, we're trying to build something here on the Chris Base channel via YouTube. So go to the Chris Base channel, click below to subscribe to the official Chris Base YouTube channel. So make sure you do that as well. As you see right now, a couple of people, four of them, Walter has come on board with, excuse me, with the YouTube. Barbara Jean has, and also Lisa London. So I thank all of you tremendously by going through the YouTube channel. Click subscribe. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share, and tell your friends if you have some. So here we are. See if I got to keep on clearing my throat here. That's why I got this nice hot tea. So excuse me 1 second. Learned a long time ago when I got on the radio that you have to take tea. If you use your voice or you're a singer or a broadcaster or whatever, that tea helps open up your throat more. And definitely need that. Sometimes you feel a script. Not saying you're sick, you just got all that morning stuff from sleep, mucus, and all those type of good friends of yours. So yeah. Once again, Free Your Mind Saturdays. Anything you want to talk about, please call in. You see the number there. Also, you can type in the comment section. But I want to hear from you. Again, you have the options to do so. Like I told you before, it's just great to hear your voice. I can read it and parlay, but not just me doing that. It's more when you call in, I can hear, we all hear your voice and go from there. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Ooh, wait. So, I've come to conclusion before, but it's been reinforced that my next door neighbor here, my apartment complex, are kleptomaniacs. And we last left our hero. So let me tell this story and I'll get back to the recent one. So before I told you, my youngest daughter, Mattia, has sent me a gift via Amazon the birthday month of September, which is the month I was born in. And then our buzzers were working here. They're not working now, but the buzzers were working. Being so close, you could hear the neighbor's buzzer, whether it's my buzzer or her buzzer or whatever, next door. And so the buzzer went off. I got the tracking GPS for Amazon, and I go out to get my gift, but it wasn't there. But on my way back, I see my neighbor with a package tucked underneath her arm like a football going into her apartment. I'm like, hey. Oh, yeah. I was gonna take this package and put it by your door. You doing this, going into your apartment, it does not look like going into. You're like you're going for a football a touchdown at a football game. You got to underneath your arm so tight instead of putting the package by my door. So caught her in a lie. Take my package, and it was the package that my daughter gave me for my birthday. So we fast forward to. See, I think it was last week. And so buzzers don't work, of course, got the GPS. So like, please, you work for GPS. Anyway, so I got the GPS and I was looking forward to my package coming. And I get up and go get it. And I want to say I wasn't looking because I wasn't trying to look at that. I want to say it was my neighbor or her sister, whatever, but she had on a bonnet and was scantily clad and had on like a black bra and black panties, something like that, and barefoot. And was like, "Are you gonna get your package?" Now, how the hell do you know? I mean, that kind of, and I wasn't trying to look. I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. And I just kept on walking to get my package, and I did get it to retrieve it. But again, the sticky fingers, not the wrapper, the sticky fingers that this person has is concerning. Because it seems to me that you're just lying waiting in the cut for packages to get there for you to put your sticky fingers on it and then bring it back to your unhumble abode. Diane Hawkins type, no way. Yes way. Yes way. I kid you not. And that's a damnest a shame. Again, you have making you've taken your life out, and once again, I don't know her that well, but you've taken your life to sit back and wait for packages to arrive for you to steal. So to say the whole thing, let's see. I want to say about maybe 3 years ago. I was by the door of my apartment waiting for my Uber Eats to arrive. And so one of my neighbors had come by, and there's a small hallway where the mailboxes are, and of course, keep packages at. So he kept looking throughout these packages and said to me, "Did you see a package about this big?" And so I said, "No, I'm just sitting here waiting for my Uber Eats." And ever since then, until I say good morning, hello to him, he stopped speaking to me. So I think he had the allegation that I stole the package. Look, he don't know me from a can of paint, but one thing I do not do is steal. I hate a thief. That's one thing that gets on my nerve since I've been born is a thief. And so he does not know that, but apparently he, I guess, tapped me because of his whole attitude changed just by saying hello after that exchange. So come to find out, in my mind, looking at my next door neighbor, it could have been her. Now, I'm just now finding this out recently about the whole sticky fingers with my neighbor and stuff, but who's to say that she wasn't doing that back then, say 3 years ago or whatever? We had a situation here in the building where someone had stole a package. Once again, we don't know who it is. But the lady had put out signs all over the floor. It's a 3-floor apartment, and in the hallway saying, please give this back. And what it was a stack of obituaries that the neighbor's relative had passed away. That's where that's all the stuff the box was in. I don't even know if she got the package back or not. But again, you stealing this stuff, it's like free for all. First of all, you shouldn't steal in the first place, really. But then you're going to steal, and I don't know if she got them back or not. What are you going to do with some obituaries? Now, I had a package of mine stolen once again about 3 or 4 years ago. I had what did I have? I had like a zipper sweater, burgundy, and that was and that's it. It arrived when I went out to the hallway. It was gone. So again, too bad we don't have cameras out in the hallway. We should. We had talked to management about that. They should install cameras because this is just it's sad. I hate a thief, man. Ever heard me waiting to cut like that? Really? And I'm an eye for an eye. Somebody should steal something from her. But then again, she may not have anything to steal, so there's nothing to steal. See? Ooh wee. So yes, oh, I can't take it. So go down to your programming notes and list for CBI returns this upcoming Wednesday, December 6th at 4 p.m. Central. Looking forward to that. Again, CBI used to be consistent, but now because of other things happening with guests just completely falling off the rails and things like that, or just stop communicating with me, I'll just do CBI when I can. Um, you hate to be that way, and I said it before. I'll just share it with you. Obviously, I don't like double booking. I do not, because unless the person is cool with it, they could be doing something else with their time. I value time. And so if I lock you into that time to be on, that's the time that you and I will be on to do said interview. But double book, I know it's done in the industry. They do it all the time as the nature of the business. But me as a one person gang, I value people's time. So I don't double book because again, they could be doing something else with them. I mean, they could be, whatever. So, but I've had a string of bad luck when it comes to these guests because they just all of a sudden became non-communicative or they'll bow out at the last minute. So I figured, look, it's like a pop up now with CBI. Take it back on track with it. Do what I can to get these guests to come on board, and then we'll rock and roll from there. So once again, CBI returns this upcoming December 6th at 4 p.m. Central. Looking forward to that. Went to, of course, every Friday at 10:35 a.m. Eastern on the Brian Snow program, Snowman in the Morning, the sports program. Brian was absent, so Cole Johnson. Remember I talked about Cole Johnson earlier? Same Cole Johnson filling in. I've been really feeling he's the co-host. He was doing the heavy lifting um, for Snowman in the Morning. My segment, Enter the Boom Shakalaka. So that was fun. Ooh wee. So yeah. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Yeah, I said before, I hate a thief, man. But it's like you want to get on my nerve real quick. Yeah, go and steal something, and we're gonna have to have a lot of words. But yeah, be caught in the act, try to play it off. You can't play it off with the package underneath your arm, talking about I'm gonna leave it in front of your door. Stupid. All right, let's get into it again. Free Your Mind Saturday. First batch of aid trucks since the truce ended enters Gaza, the Palestinian Red Crescent said. Israeli army says it has hit more than 400 targets overnight, including in the southern Khan Yunis area where tens of thousands of civilians evacuated to over the past month. Israel renews its bombardment of Gaza, hitting areas across the enclave after the end of the week-long truce. Negotiations to secure another pause in the fighting continues, a mediator for Qatar says. At least 15,207 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since October 7th. In Israel, the official death toll stands at 1,200. And again, it seems like there's no end in sight when it comes to this. I'm very glad that they had the truce to have all these hostages to get to some sort of safety, but still, it's continuing ongoing battle. A negotiations continue to try to secure another pause in fighting. Palestinians in Gaza face disease, destruction, and death. Israel continues renewed bombardment after the collapse of the truce. So it continues on. Let's see. Yeah, when you look at something like this continuing, and you look at the efforts to give some sort of help to the people involved, it's a lot. And at the same time, say what you want about President Biden, but President Biden was the one who helped orchestrate the truce based upon his experiences um, working with foreign affairs. Israeli combat ops resume again in the southern Gaza. Hamas in the area, Hamas believed to be holding 136 hostages at this point. 50 trucks of food, medicine enter Gaza as of today. So we'll keep you updated as we continue on with that story, obviously being the centerpiece of our world where we are. Yeah. Um, the women and children obviously is a big situation where you look at how the murders continue and have done so, and I just believe that it's of, to me, biblical proportions, to say the very least. If you're a person that subscribes to some form of religion, it just has that type of feel to it, and it is that type of feel to it. Well, the House voted Friday to expel indicted New York GOP Representative George Santos over ethics violations, making him only the sixth lawmaker ever to be ousted from the chamber. The resolution passed 311 to 114, with 105 Republicans voting in favor of expulsion. All four top GOP leaders voted to keep Santos in Congress. The embattled former lawmaker survived previous attempts to remove him, but there was growing momentum for this effort in the wake of scathing ethics report, which concluded that he sought to fraudulently exploit his House candidacy for personal financial profit. Santos announced he wouldn't seek re-election at the report's release, but refused to resign. The House clerk is expected to assume control of Santos's office, and the New York Democratic Governor Kathy Hochul will schedule a special election to replace him. Expulsion is the most severe form of punishment for a House lawmaker and requires a high bar of two-thirds of the majority vote to succeed. Santos is the first member to be expelled from the House in more than 2 decades and the first to be ousted since the Civil War who wasn't convicted of a felony. Oh, yeah. So, with the vote on Friday in the House of Representatives to expel the governor, not governor, but George Santos from the chambers, these are the next steps to expect to take place in Congress and New York State. Now, in Congress, according to the House parliamentarian, uh, an expulsion is handled the same as the vacancy, including death or resignation. The House clerk assumes control of the office and makes decisions on behalf of that office. It will decide how Santos' office is cleared out. Among other steps, his district office remains intact for a constituent's needs. Now, the special election in New York, the House clerk informs the governor of New York that there is now a vacancy in the 3rd District of New York. Once again, it's up to Governor Kathy Hochul to schedule a special election to replace him. New York state law stipulates that the governor makes a proclamation for a special election within 10 days, with a election occurring not less than 70 or more than 80 days following the proclamation. Hochul, a Democrat, said Friday she is prepared to fill the vacancy and slammed Santos, saying that he has not served the people of New York, which he did not. Yeah, he spent on Botox. You see that face? Barbara Jean, I'll be back in a little while. Cool. Take care of your business. Good morning, King Base. Happy pre-Christmas to you and your family. Good morning, King Omar, and the same to you as well. It's not like George Santos is the first politician to use funds to take care of himself. He just got caught and was the most outrageous to date when you do all these things in the public eye and flaunt it like he did, and again to refuse to step down. I mean, dude, you're cold busted. And again, they want to keep you around to a degree because they want the vote to still be intact for power. But at the same time, it's like you doing too much. You're doing the most. And you gotta go, gotta go. It's like I ain't going nowhere. These other politicians are concerned. These other GOP is like I ain't going no. And when you have these people like Santos just flaunted and just don't care, which pretty much what he was doing, and then have the nerve to get upset when he's busted. When he was leaving the chamber and the press is outside, and he's going down the steps, he's going to say, "The hell with this place." The hell with you. The hell. I mean, the nerve. That's what gets me about certain people. You know you're doing the most. You know you're doing the dirt, and then you get busted. And nerve to get upset because you got busted. It makes no sense. I mean, take the hit, like I guess an ordinary human being would do, but no, it'll be defiant to the end because you got busted. And a lot of these politicians are in it for themselves, not for you and me, but in it for themselves. It is a business first and foremost. So they're able to have these constituents and special interest groups throw money at them, and they parlay it the way they want to. But you out there buying Ferragamo shoes, whatever the hell he was doing, and getting Botox and things like that, and they're using it for porn sites. I mean, really. Yeah, you need to go. I'm glad they took care of business. I mean, who needs that? Excuse me. And I hope there's a message to the others who have not been busted outwardly like that. But it probably won't sink in because, again, I don't think certain people learn lessons. Because, okay, it happened to Joy, it won't happen to me. So there you go. So once again, going back to this whole thing with the situation at hand, following the resignation, for example, of Republican uh, GOP Tom Reed, neither the 10-day nor the 70 to 80-day parameters were followed in scheduling a special election. Additionally, the House and New York, excuse me, are expected to have a second House vacancy with the upcoming resignation of Democratic Representative Brian Higgins, who announced he would step down in February, and Hochul could opt to pair those special elections. Yeah. Also, I just can't get over the fact of Santos had to be defiant, stone cold busted, and you're defiant. Amazing. Let's see here. The federal judge presiding over Donald Trump's election subversion case in Washington, D.C., has refused to dismiss the charges against the former president, saying he does not enjoy absolute immunity for what he said and did after the 2020 election. The court cannot conclude that our Constitution cloaks former presidents with absolute immunity for any federal crimes they committed while in office. This is a U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan wrote. This is an issue that likely must be settled by an appeals court above Chutkan before Trump's criminal trial set in March. Chutkan's opinion that came after appeals court said earlier Friday that Trump could be sued in civil proceedings related to the January 6, 2021 riot is a resounding blow on a significant question about presidential protections that Trump hoped to use as he tries to staff off criminal cases. It also means that unless an appeals court steps in, the judge sees no issue with Trump being tried in the coming year. Whatever immunities a sitting president may enjoy, the United States has one chief executive at a time, and that position does not confer a lifelong get out of jail free pass. Former presidents enjoy no special conditions on their federal criminal liability. Defendant may be subject to federal investigation, indictment, prosecution, conviction, and punishment for any criminal acts undertaken while in office. This is what, again, Judge Chutkan wrote. She added that Trump's 4-year service as commander in chief did not bestow on him to divine right of kings and to invade criminal accountability that governs his fellow citizens. Trump's lawyers had asked Chutkan to throw out the 4 charges he faced in Washington because they said Trump was working to ensure election integrity as part of his official capacity as president when he allegedly undermined the 2020 election results and therefore is protected under presidential immunity. But as the Constitution, the Supreme Court, and hundreds of years of history and tradition all makes clear, the president's motivations are not for the prosecution or the court to decide. Trump's attorneys wrote, rather where he, here as the presidential actions were within his office and during his time, he is absolutely immune from the prosecution. But Chutkan rejected that argument, writing that to the contrary, America's founding generation envisioned a chief executive wholly different from the accountable, the unaccountable, and most, penitent rulers of the nations at that time. So, to put it all in a nutshell, you only have immunity to a degree, but you're talking about doing crimes against the nation, those immunities are not in play. And that was the thing that that Trump and Trump's lawyers are working on, saying that, well, look, I mean, I could do what I want. I got diplomatic immunity. I got immunity, being the president. They're like, no. Well, if you're talking about overthrowing the government and causing the insurrection you did back in 2021, then no, all that's out the window. But of course they'll fight it. Of course, it's like a rolling roulette wheel of lawyers that come in with Trump. They come in for a couple of seconds, and then they're ousty, and then they're gone. Oh man! But what can you say? It deals with the fact of. And I don't know about you. See, when I see Trump, I just get ill. When I see his face, it's like damn near the devil incarnate, pretty much. And I said this on numerous occasions. When you don't question your leaders, they can tell you anything, you'll fall for it. If you don't question authority, then who are you? It gets to a point where there has to be some sort of line of questioning, because if not, you get things of this nature. When you have people who follow blindly the way they do, it's not good for that person, period. It's not good for anybody. If you don't have any type of inquisitive nature, or your spidey sense don't tingle or tangle, depending on what part of the country you come from, something's wrong. If something does not feel right, you say, "Hey, wait a minute! Let me ask you a question about that." Instead of being, if you're not careful, led to slaughter, and I don't know if you want that. Hey, so what can I say? It's think, Unless you hurt your brain, think. Use the brain that you have. Don't ignore those spidey senses. Don't ignore it at all. Ooh, wait. So again, we'll see. Free Your Mind Saturday. Once again, thank you all for being here as always. To contact me, you please go to, you see at the bottom there. If you're on YouTube, please like and be an official part of the Chris Base channel on YouTube. Get on that as we grow numbers with that. Thank you so much for doing that as well. And of course, continue to be a part of the program by calling in at 312-597-2106 to hear your voice. What do you want to talk about? 312-597-2106. And also you comment in the comment section in the peanut gallery as well. No excuse. No excuse whatsoever. So we had taken the weekend off to continue to enjoy the festivities, Thanksgiving. So what did you do over the holiday season as we recap and reconnect here today, this morning? So let's see. So I went over to my sister's place, my sister Tiffany, and got a chance to be over there. That was cool beans. That was nice. Got a chance to be with the family. My mom, who we stayed together, but she was over there. She got over to Tiffany's place. I want to say that's that Tuesday, and I came over that Thursday. So she was spending time over there at my sister's place, and of course her husband Bobby, my nephew Caleb, and my little niece Mawa. So that was pretty cool. That was all right. My brother, what's up, man? The Reverend brother, Pastor Deacon, Dr. Bass. Happy holidays, my friend. Happy holidays to you too, Trey. Thank you for being here, man. Love that, brother. Got a chance to work together at Urban Broadcast Media. Oh man, I always heard about Trey before I got there, so it was nice to meet another brother in broadcasting. Of course, in the industry, you know all the people's names and the players and things like that. I always followed his career for a while, and to got a chance to work with him at one point was very cool. Very cool. How you doing, Trey? How's everything in your world, man? So once again, Thanksgiving. So I'm over at my sister's place, and so my niece Mama, who's 2 years old, I love her. I think she loves me, but she gives me the black ass. And what I mean by that is, there are times when I'm cool with her, and there are times when I'm not cool with her. I don't do anything. I ain't no mope. But sometimes you look at me like, I don't feel like dealing with your ass, and then and that's it. And so I don't know what. I mean, that's just her attitude. It's like he all right for the night. I mean, he all right for now. And the next time you see him, oh, man, what the hell with him. Yeah, but she's too damn. Now these children know what the hell they doing at 2 years old. They know. They know. I don't want to hear that stuff about she's two. They know. Can't complain. Cool, man. Cool. So that's how we roll. Either she'll see me, and I'm only now. No mind you, I've been there. Let's see, pretty much half the day on Thanksgiving. So she had come around a little bit, and we were going back and forth. So when I was talking to her, I said, "No, Mom, we gotta stop this shit, man. I'm your unks, man. I don't get this from Caleb." She comes over to me. I'm trying to talk to her. She closes her eyes so she won't look at me. What kind of shit is that? Two, mind you, is the damnedest of shame. I never seen it before in my life. I ain't bring no mirrors. I ain't ugly. You gonna walk her bow-legged self over to me and gonna close her eyes while we were talking. I'm like, you know what? Let me get the turkey, man. I'm tired. I can't do. But that's how she operates. So I love my niece. She's great personality. Uh, I'll take the hill myself. Type of and you need that in life to be strong. And I'm glad she's doing that now. But come on now, close your eyes as soon as you see me. Man. You gotta be out of your mind. Nephew Caleb. Again, it was just great to be around family as always. So looking forward to Christmas coming up. Obviously, get a chance to do it again. But man, I would just like to. Don't get me wrong. Certain foods we have tradition wise, but I would like to do something different food wise for the holiday season. I would love to. I My goal is to have prime rib on Christmas. That is my goal. Maybe I'll do this year, maybe not. I don't know, but that prime rib's been calling me for years, Doc. Been calling me. Don got the laughing emoji. Do you have your Christmas decorations up yet? I don't do Christmas decorations like I used to anymore. Not here. No, not here at the home here. No, we don't put up. We used to. Um, but I don't know. Just I won't get into it. The reason why. I think for some of you know me, you know why over the years. But first of all, you get older, man. You get aches and pains and aches. And we used to do live Christmas trees. The evergreen Christmas trees. Man, the smell of evergreen when it walks all through the house is just it's seasonal. It's great. Reminds you of the Christmas time and everything else, which is great. But yeah, we haven't got a fake tree. We used to have a tree here, but it got to the point where it's tiring. I mean, I'm little like I'm almost catching my damn breath. I mean, I'm not as young as I used to be. I ain't no spring ass chicken, so I get winded. So I'm like, well, damn it, I ain't gonna go through all that. So as far as decorations go, we don't have any decorations. I keep the memories in my mind and try to create new ones. But no, we haven't done that in a while. It's just a lot to do, and as we don't have a fake tree at this point. So yeah, so we know no decorations. Yeah, Delvin Bowlegged, man, two. And tell them to have attitude, they're gonna turn around and like, well, I'm not gonna look at them or close my eyes while you're talking to me. I ain't got time for that, man. 2-year-old. Devil also types prime rib for the holiday. Sounds good. Let me ask my doctor. Yeah, let me ask mine too. Let's see. Oh yes. My cousin Patrice. How you doing, Patrice? You must miss Lowry's prime rib. Try Morton's or the Palm. I definitely will. That was my spot. When my wife Vicky and I were going there, man, that was the spot. They look. It got to the point where they know me by name. Hello, Mr. Bass. How you doing? I was like, see, now you know you arrived and they know your face. Oh, Mr. Bass, you know, you and your family come on in and everything else. So yeah, we went there all the time. Broke my heart was gone. It's just like across the street over there at Grand Lux. They're gonna take a dirt nap and not be around anymore. So all these institutions that we've seen for years and been around our culture, they're leaving us. And see, at least with the people over there at the Grand Lux, you get a chance to. They gave you enough time to go and have a few last meals. Me, I think Lowry's the prime rib was closing around COVID, and I didn't get a chance to get a last meal at the time. So yeah, jeez. Hey, what's up? That's my man Rudolph there. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, sir. How you doing? Thank you for being here. So Diane Tyson, my dad and I went to Chicago Cut Steakhouse for Thanksgiving. The place was packed. It nothing like steak or for the holidays, man. But we're used to, of course, tradition with the turkey and the fixings and the stuffing like that, and we use and that's great. But man, I guess because I fall back into tradition, I don't really have to concentrate on something like that for like prime rib for the holiday season. Patrice types Grand Lux is open until Christmas Eve. Well, at least you had that luxury to go to the Grand Lux. But man, I just remember being hunkered down during COVID and reading on the news about the closing of Lowry's. I mean, that was my stomping place. That was my joint. I remember one time Vicky and I went, and so you get there, and of course you do reservations. You get there, and you'll have to wait sometimes, and you'll get something to drink in the lounge area, and so they'll usually call your name and take you to your table. So Vicky and I were sitting there, waiting, and there's a lady kept passing by. Bosse, party of two. Bosse, party of two. I was like, okay. So I ignored it because it wasn't my name. I go by Base. Lady came back again, back and forth. A Bosse, party of two. Bosse, party of two. And this is like 3 or 4 times now. Like, I wonder if she made me, excuse me, miss, how you spell Bosse? Base. It's Base. That's me and my wife. Oh, I'm sorry. Follow me. Yeah, I was Bosse for like a good 2 or 3 minutes. And God bless her ministry. She was doing her job as as seating us to our table. And she had a nose named little Bosse, party of two, Bosse. I said, Bosse must be in the bathroom, man, because they got to come out and get this table. Walked past a few times. So yeah, I was Bosse for like a good 2 or 3 minutes straight before I caught on. And so again, see, you know what? And this is also what gave me the red ass. I love my city. I love my city. I'm very fortunate to be born here, and like other cities, great history. When Marshall Fields was turned over to Macy's, I was outdone. And Macy's, of course, is a New York thing. That's a New York establishment. But then Macy's, of course, went national and dare I say maybe global, I don't know, had come to Chicago and taken over Marshall Fields. I grew up going to Marshall Fields all my life. And now all of a sudden, I've not set foot in there. Me personally, I just haven't. The Walnut Run is still there and everything, but that was That was us. That belonged to us. Carson Peary Scott and everything else, that belonged to us. I'm not anti, I'm just pro my own. But when Macy's came in and taking over that, I was like, that's to me, that's the beginning of the end. As far as I was concerned, that's a lot of my childhood. Yes, Diane, Bossé, yes, yes, Boss. I mean, and she was. I mean, really. I mean, she was into it too. I mean, you can't. Yeah, if anybody loved their job, was that lady. Williams, party of five. Williams, party of five. Thompson, party of seven. Thompson. I don't know what the. I don't know what that was about at one point. I guess this maybe she had sinus problems, but yeah. Bossy, party of two. Bossy, party of two. Yeah, Bossy. Yeah, it was Bossy, I'm telling you. So, like if you were there, like you and your father were there, Hawkins, party of two. Hawkins, party of two. Whatever. Yeah, yeah. It's almost like Bobby Blue Bland. Bobby Blue Bland, God rest his soul, was a fantastic blues singer, one of my dad's favorite blues singers, alongside the great B.B. King. That was my dad's favorite. But both of them was like the epitome together. So B.B. King, Bobby Blue Bland. So Bobby Blue Bland did this hawk thing when he would sing. Soon as the weather breaks, baby, I'm gonna pack my bags and head that way. Oh! And yeah, he would hawk while he was singing. I mean, even as a kid listening to it at home, I could feel the spit. As a child, I'm like, wait, whoa, man! Because we had one of those combinations furniture deal where you had the record player, radio, 8-track coming out as big combination thing in our house. It was furniture, and my dad played his music on top of it. But yeah, the double album, BB King, Bobby Blue Bland, and then the solo albums that he had with them. Yeah, Doc. Ah! That's what he did. And so this lady kind of reminded me of that in her own prissy way. Oh, bossy, party of two. All I gotta do is flip it. Oh, base party of two. I mean, you can change it all you want to. It's the same damn near premise of the and or whatever you want to call it. Hawk. Hawk in the mind. Let's see. So yeah, that hawking sound would be there. Ooh wee. Yeah, my dad loved blues. And um, jazz and blues, but I remember more so blues than anything else. Johnny Witherspoon, for example, Man Ain't Supposed to Cry and stuff like that. And my dad would get drunk and get some yak. And so at one point, let's see, his go-to was Smirnoff vodka. And now, of course, over the years, he studied different variations of Smirnoff. They went into wine coolers and stuff like that, and the other types of drinks that you see. But originally, of course, people know it comes from Smirnoff vodka. So he would drink that or some J&B Scotch. But and of course, everybody was drinking Miller High Life, the champagne, the beers. So he would drink that. But primarily, I believe, I guess it went in phases. It was the Scotch, the J&B Scotch, or the Smirnoff vodka. And as a kid, you curious, so you try it. I tried the Smirnoff vodka and not went there since. I would have to say that trying the Smirnoff vodka, that would have to be the taste of what vampires taste when we put holy water on them. I can't do vodka. I think vodka is some of the once again, if you like vodka, fine. I think vodka is some of the nastiest fire water I ever tasted, and I couldn't do it. I'm glad I took a little sip, not a lot. I wasn't that stupid. I took a little sip, and I was like, my God, it Like I said, if I was a vampire, that would be like holy water. You know, it burns, Lord. It burns. The burn, Lord. The burn. So yeah, that was enough. So when I did start to sneak and drink, I started to do that with beer. I told you my grandfather started me drinking beer when I was 4 or 5 years old. Yes, I know you can't do that nowadays. You couldn't do it then, but this is before my sister was born and before I went to school. And I told you the story before. My grandfather loved baseball. He didn't really have a favorite team between the Cubs and the Sox. He watched both of them. He just liked baseball. So this is when the Cubs had the day games before they got the night lights. But before there was all day games. So you would watch the Cubs in the daytime and watch the Sox at night. So he's watching the Cubs and we're watching the game. And he's drinking 16 ounces of tall cans of Budweiser's. So I said, Granny, can I have some beer? Yeah. Just like that. I mean, smooth with it. Yeah. So I went and got my grandmother's coffee mug, and he was generally filled up to the rim. He wasn't like half stepping. Like, you go drink with me, let's drink. And fill it all the way up to the rim. I think I had 2 of those and went to sleep. What I said, looking back in hindsight, was probably the goal to get my ass to sleep in the first place. Yeah, you drink this beer, boy. You'll be all right. And I was out like a light. Oh, well, you know, I don't parenting. I never got the thing about parenting, but yeah. Oh man. Let's see. So when I get off the air, probably get something to eat. Depending on how I feel, I'm usually getting something to eat. So let's see. What would be a good breakfast to eat? I'll leave it up to you out there. What would you suggest for breakfast? The Diane types, in regards to Macy's statement, I haven't lived in Chicago for nearly 20 years, and I still refuse to say Willis Tower. And I still call it Comiskey Park instead of Guaranteed Field or whatever it is now. I agree wholeheartedly. It's change going to happen whether you like it or not. Change is the inevitable. But certain situations, like it's hard to let go. For memory's sake, for you as a Chicagoan, and you just love on your city, and it's hard. It's difficult to succumb to those type of things. And again with the whole Macy's thing, I just gone. And God bless your ministries. You still go to the shop, the Walnut Room and stuff like that. I mean, Frango mints. Frango mints was a staple in our household when Christmas time rolled around. Yeah, you go online, they still sell them and stuff like that. And some reviews I read, they said they weren't as good as they were before and things like that. But man, just something once again nostalgic for me to look forward to Frango mints for Christmas. I just said Christmas like Frango mints from Marshall Fields. And again, not saying you can't duplicate that type of feeling. You can if you want to, but yeah, it's especially nowadays when they change the ingredients of a lot of things. Well, yes, when you get older, your palate changes and things like that. But sometimes things stays the same. But I didn't know any better. A lot of the stuff has been they jack the prices up, obviously, and then change the product, and they use probably cheaper ingredients. We had this conversation before about, say, for example, the Whopper from Burger King. Now, when I was coming up, that was a decent burger. I can't even wrap my mouth around it now. Burger wise, that makes no sense. I guess it depends on where you go. They had a good sandwich called the Whaler at one point back in the day. Their fish sandwich was kind of like a hoagie style sandwich, about this big. Very nice. And then he turned around and did what McDonald's does, and like their fillet of fish, they put on a round bun and squirt off the whole cod fish thing. I'm like, geez, man, you talking about copying off your competitor. Oh hell. So yes, I know change happens, but at the same time, man, good night. It's just a lot. It really is. So see, Omar had typed Howling Wolf is my favorite blues singer, and ZZ Hill too. Yeah, Howling Wolf, yeah. Smokestack Lightning. Let's see. Yeah, the character Howling Wolf was portrayed in the movie Cadillac Records. And it was funny. I watched that movie and I like how Howling Wolf doesn't want anything from the owner. Because, the owner was like, because he had this beat up truck. And the owner was like, why don't you go buy yourself a car? No, I don't buy from the store. I don't borrow from the store. This is mine. It's paid for. That was nice. He showed right off the bat, hey man, everybody else get a new Cadillac they want to. I'll take my beat up Heat because it's mine. And he made a point because there was another part in the movie where let's see, the owner of Chess, then Cadillac Records was talking to um, uh, Muddy Waters and was saying those Cadillacs don't pay for itself because he's about his check was light. So again, certain business and finances, how people do their business is not always cool. Hey, good morning to Dr. Katrina Sandy. Did you celebrate a birthday, Doc Sanders? I think I saw something online. You mentioned about your birthday. I want to make sure that it is, because I want to wish you a very happy birthday to you. Very cool indeed. Doc Sanders. Yeah, I think, but please confirm that. Once again, you see a lot of stuff online. I want to make sure I got the right birthday. Ooh wee. Yeah, happy birthday to you, if that's your birthday today. I feel like a Ray Rayner. Happy birthday today is your birthday. Yeah, good stuff. So let's see here. See, again, you can type in the comment section and be a part of the program that way. Whatever is on your mind, please do so. Let's see. So Walter ties breakfast for me: meatloaf, eggs, crepes, and hot tea. Sometimes White Castle. We got the White Castle now. You be going sitting on the toilet. Let's see. Let's see. Go back out to the comment section. Great morning, Mr. Bass. Catherine Ford. Great morning to you, Miss Ford. How you doing? Thank you for being here. Yeah, Kathy and I go way back like babies and pacifier. I mean, going back to we're Creewar church members, Presbyterian faith. Went to high school together at Kenwood Academy. I didn't see Kathy a lot at Kenwood, but back in the day, we were coming up at Creewar. Yeah, and I once again I realized that I had been raised in church. I knew it, but then I look back at my time in church. I was there 3 days a week, as I said before on many occasions. Youth in Action, that was Friday nights. Saturday mornings was youth choir practice, and of course Sunday on church. And then Kathy and I were in the choir together, and then we sung every fourth Sunday. I was also a junior deacon and acolyte at that time in my time at church. So good stuff. Absolutely. And a great morning to you and all of you out there. Retired Supreme Court Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, the first woman to serve on the nation's highest court in a crucial swing vote during her nearly 25-year tenure, died on Friday. She was 93 years old. A key figure in landmark Supreme Court cases dealing with abortion, affirmative action, and civil rights, Connor retired in 2006 and announced in 2018 that she had been diagnosed with dementia and would withdraw from public life. O'Connor was President Ronald Reagan's first nominee to the Supreme Court, joining the court in 1981 after an already notable career that included serving the majority leader in Arizona State Senate, the first woman to hold that title in the nation. She died in Phoenix of complications related to advanced dementia and respiratory illness, according to a statement from the Supreme Court. A daughter of the American Southwest, Sandra Day O'Connor blazed an historic trail as our nation's first female justice, Chief Justice John Roberts said in a statement. She met the challenge with uh, undaunted determination, indisputed ability, and engaging candor. We at the Supreme Court mourn the loss of a beloved colleague, a fiercely independent defender of the rule of law, and an eloquent advocate for civic education. During which her time on the court, during that time, which spanned 3 Chief Justices, O'Connor was a swing vote in many blockbuster cases, and in part, because of that, was arguably the most powerful woman in the nation. She helped craft the 1992 opinion in the Planned Parenthood versus Casey that upheld a woman's right to an abortion, but permitted states to impose additional restrictions. That decision, along with the court's 1973 ruling in Roe v. Wade, was overruled by the court's conservative majority last year. Once again, this is a fantastic woman who really blazed a lot of trails, literally, and from the standpoint of taking a stance, because when it comes down to, again, abortion and civil rights, hopefully you find someone on a political side that actually wants to do that and not just do it for the sake of a political grandstanding. And she was not that at all. So let's see. My family, we eat at Texas Roadhouse after Thanksgiving, Chris. The food is delicious. As for you, Chris, have corned beef hash and toast and a cup of coffee for breakfast and toast. Okay, so that's corned beef hash, toast, a cup of coffee for breakfast and toast. That's a lot of toast there, Omar. Okay, corned beef. I never got into corned beef hash. We never had it at the house. Anybody else had corned beef hash? We never had that at the household. Really, never at all. Well, I'm not hating on corned beef hash, mind you. That's what you like. That's what you like. But no, we never were a corned beef hash family. Let's see. O'Connor wrote the majority of the Grutter versus Bollinger in 2003 decision that permitted universities to consider race as a factor in admissions to boost minority enrollment as long as they also weighed other characteristics unique to individual applicants. That precedent was abandoned earlier this year when the Supreme Court struck down affirmative action policies at Harvard University and the University of North Carolina. O'Connor joined the court's 5-4 ruling that decided the 2000 presidential election in favor of George W. Bush. She later questioned whether the court should have gotten involved, telling the Chicago Tribune that it stirred up the public and gave the court a less than perfect reputation. Despite her influence, O'Connor rejected the swing vote label. She said, I don't like that term. In an interview she did with NPR in 2013, I don't think any justice, and I hope I was not one, would swing back and forth and just try to make decisions not based on legal principles, but on where you thought the direction should go. Again, when you have someone that was a lightning rod like Justice O'Connor, it's new. I don't agree with everything that President Ronald Reagan did, but he got this one right when he was able to get Senator Day O'Connor as the first lady into the Supreme Court. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's pretty cool. Let's see, pretty cool indeed. Let's see. Lisa types, corned beef hash is good as long as the meat is not too fatty. Steak beef has is good as well. Okay, that sounds good. Now you're talking my language. See, steak beef, yeah. The whole corned beef thing is just is foreign to me. It's delicious. I had it when I was little, and I still eat it all these years later. You can find corned beef hash on at the grocery store. Omar type. Oh yeah, I know. I know. I just say I don't. I just stay clear of it. That's all. You grow up on what you grew up on, and of course, down the road, you find other things to eat that satisfies your palate and things of that nature. So there you go. So I am thinking about grits today. Well, it's cold outside, so you got to have those type of meals that stick to your bones. So, so grits come to mind in the breakfast ensemble after I get off the air. So what I'm looking at really right now, unless I decide to order out, is some turkey sausage, scrambled eggs, grits, and toast. Wheat toast. So that's what I'm looking at right now. Because I changed my mind. Hell, I take some prime rib. I'll take prime rib any day of the week. Prime rib for breakfast, man. Got prime rib on the mind. Let's see. Let's stay there. And so yeah, keep it coming. So you have some ideas for breakfast. It can also be what you like to eat for breakfast as well. So let me see here. So I'm going to that, that, that. Hmm. Yeah, as I said before on other occasions, I usually do not eat before I go on the air. I tried it before when I first started getting the broadcasting, and it gives me like a heavy feeling when I'm talking. So I don't want to get that. Something light, I'll probably snack on, but no, I just stopped doing it altogether. So usually what I'll do, I'll just don't eat before I go on the air, and then eat afterwards, which is what I'm going to do today. Yeah, when I started off in radio, when I was working at WBEE, then I was doing a jazz and blues show, and I would sometimes eat. I eat a lot. I ate enough, or ate during the show, and I get the once again the heavy feeling. I just felt I was being weighed down, literally. So I figured, okay, let me stop eating. Let me just get some tea instead, and then go from there. And I feel like I have a better energy when that happens. So there you go. Hello, Zelda Robinson. How you doing? Happy holidays, Chris. Happy holidays to you, Zelda. Thank you for being here as well. Another sister in broadcast. I mean, man, it's been like a who's who. You had these sisters and brothers in broadcasting coming up. Delvin popped up. Troy popped up. Lisa London popped up. Of course, Zelda had popped up just now. Uh, I don't know about Walter. I guess I'll throw him in there. I guess I don't know. Let me share this with you, and I'm not saying anything wrong with the commentary. So hold on, let me see. Let me get this real quick. Lisa types a fresh seasoned fruit bowl with yogurt and granola is always good for a light breakfast. You know what? I'll have to give it a try. I'll try something like that. I'll have to give it a try. Something light. So Walter, aka Waldo, we had a conversation off the mic, and he was saying about him filling in for me on this program, BaseLine, on this program right here, which I told him a hearty hell nope. It's just not going to happen. He is the anti-show. Why would I have someone anti-show come on here and sabotage something I have built up over the years? It's not going to happen. So we were talking, and he was talking about how you have others over the years filling for the people on their programs, like say going back to the Tonight Show and shows like that, where you had other people come in and fill in. Yeah, but they weren't trying to sabotage those shows. They weren't trying to take over. And so, even though it's a nice gesture and I respect it, it's nice. My overall thing is no. And as I told him and others, especially when I was teaching, at one point, you start your own thing. You start your own thing. Now, don't be wrong. I got started filling in for people, so I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. But it wasn't technology or the internet back then either. So if I had the technology back then, if we had it back then, when I was working at a brick and mortar radio stations and online, I had to do my own thing, then I would do my own thing, combined with filling in for people, so I could help, you know, chop up my skills. So yeah, everybody's doing it, so there's no excuse. You can create your own thing, create your own content. You don't have to worry about coming over here to fill in for me. You don't worry about it. I'm talking about him. Don't get me wrong, I might consider somebody else, but not him. No, no. But again, my point is you have your own content to create. That's the great thing about technology nowadays and social media. You could do your own thing. A lot of people create their own content to the point where what are they then? What social media influencers? And that's wonderful. Like, what was that? I'm watching television, and some of these people have made a career off of it. So, of course, if you're on YouTube, you get a certain amount of viewers. They give you a check and things like that, and it keeps going up and up. And so, there's one guy. I guess his name is Drewski, a kind of heavyset brother with blonde hair on the top of his head. He's doing these Verizon. I think he's doing Verizon. I think what name of the company, whatever company it is that he's working for. He's doing commercials for them. He did some last year for the NBA. I do some more this year for the NBA, which great for him. And there's nothing wrong with that. And God bless your ministry. So even to the point of when you see all those numbers that these social media influencers have, someone going to take notice and step them up. Like they had this advertisement for McDonald's, this mumbo sauce and this sweet and spicy jam that where I went to, they never had it. They were advertising for it on the national spots, and on the national spots were these social media influencers. There's a guy on there. I don't know what his nationality is, but when he does all these, everybody's doing food reviews. So he does his food review, and every time he bites it, he actually makes the sign. It's kind of comical. And so he was the one among maybe two or three others that were on this national spot that were social media influencers. So yeah, my point being is that yeah, do your own thing. Do your own thing. I mean, and once again, I'm not being mean. It's just that that's what it is nowadays. Do your own thing. If you don't do your own thing, that's on you. Got nothing to do with me at all. And once again, and I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not well, and I'll joke this. I'm not calling Walter out. I'm just saying in general. This has been my case for years. Get your own platform. Do your own thing. I don't understand why people can't do it. But I've had people, let's say when I was filling in, and you have callers on there that want to come on, and don't get me wrong, they'll do it if you let them. They'll come on your show, try to take over, like they're the host of the show. You gotta check them. You kind of feel them out to see where they're going with their rhetoric and attitude, stuff like that. It's like Negro or Negress. Um, this is not your show. Hell, it's not even my show. Anyone come on here flexing and stuff like that, you just gotta go, and you're just not gonna do it here. Get your own program. And then when you say that, they back off. And that boggles my mind. You want to do it so bad, then create your own content, do your own thing, get your own show. But no, they rather troll and get on your program and take over. It's happened to me many occasions. When I started having my own show online, it happened. And I think that if you have a particular talent for something, and we all do this for some form of attention, then you should capitalize on that and not come here or go somewhere else and try to flex and show off your prowess or whatever. Get off your dead ass and start your own show somewhere else. I to me, that's it's too much like right. It's too much like right, and that's my pet peeve with people. Don't come here and don't come anywhere else. I'm this and I'm that. And you don't have to say I'm this, I'm that. Just look, just take your act somewhere else and start your own thing. And then when you tell them to start their own thing, they don't want to do their own thing. It's the damnedest. It's insanity to me. I'm not going to do it. I ain't going to do it. Then why come over here? I understand it's easy to do. I ain't gonna let you do it. I'm just not gonna let you. It's stupid for you or anybody to come to my program to do all this, but yeah, you want to start your own program. It boggles me. It doesn't make any sense. So damn, it's a shame. Good morning, Raw. How you doing? Base in your face. How you doing, Raw? Good morning to you, and thank you for being here. So as I was saying, when this has happened to me over time, the ability to take something that you have and you have a talent to do it, and people have told you over the years, we have a talent for this, that, and the third. You know everything. You know about this, know about that. And instead of just coming on programs and showing this, stop, step aside and listen. And you might be onto something to create your own thing. Create your own thing. I'm a proponent of that. I just think it's a waste of time to go on other people's programs and showcase these talents and not do something for themselves. I'm a firm believer of not wasting time. Me personally, I think time is very precious. It should mean something to you. I know it means a lot to me. But over the years, just sitting here, just going through my skull when these things happen, it happened more than, of course, one occasion, well, terrestrial radio or here on social media. It's not a pissing contest between me and that person. It's not it's not a situation where you're taking a leak on top of a bridge and it's say you and somebody else and you're having a contest and one person says next to you, hey, the water's cold, and then I say, yeah, and it's deep too. There's no contest, and it really shouldn't be one. And I think that certain people who get into that mindset, they just need to sit back and say, look, if I can do something that you think the masses will enjoy, I should showcase my talents. I'm sorry, it makes sense to me. That's all. It just happened too much over time. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Again, with today's technology and today's social media, everybody has a platform. You can do it. Let's see. Daryl Hall has accused his longtime music partner, John Oates, of committing the ultimate partnership betrayal by planning to sell his share of the Hall and Oates duo joint venture without the other's permission, Hall said in a court declaration supporting his lawsuit to keep the transaction paused. A declaration filed Wednesday in a Nashville court, Hall also lamented the deterioration of relationship with and trust his musical partner for more than half a century. The joint venture in question includes Hall and Oates trademarks, personal name and likenesses rights, record royalty income, and website and social media assets, the declaration states. In his own court filing, Oates said that he was disappointed in Hall's inflammatory, outlandish, and inaccurate statements about me and argued that he had been trying for some time to enhance their business partnership. A judge has issued a temporarily restraining order blocking the sales of Oates' share of Whole Oats Enterprises LLP to Primary Wave IP Investment Management LLC, while legal proceedings and a previously initiated arbitration continue. A court hearing is scheduled. Hall is seeking further court action to keep the transaction on hold, while falsely contending over the last several moments and months that the Oates Trust wanted to maintain ownership in WOE. John Oates and the co-trustees engaged in the ultimate partnership betrayal. Hall said in a declaration, they sought to sell half of WOE assets without obtaining my written approval. Oates argued in his filings that the court should not extend the temporary restraining order, and he said he didn't want to publicly address details of business dealings that he considered private matters. But in a rejoinder to the suggestion that he was the one who caused the rift, he argued that Hall has been trying to, for years, to be seen as individual. Over the years, Daryl has consistently and publicly has an adamant about being perceived as an individual rather than as part of a duo or group. Thus, he has insisted on our being known as Daryl Hall and John Oates rather than the more commonly known Hall and Oates. Oates' declaration said, "On this point, I agree. I now must act with truthfulness and must make decisions that are right for myself, my family, and my artistic future." Well, like they said before, half a century. I remember. I think they've been around since late '70s. Sarah Smiles and stuff like that with their song and songs, and you hate to see it come to this type of end or differences, but that's what happens sometimes. It's damn near inevitable. You're going to have fights. You're going to have rights of where your stake is and where and what belongs where and everything else. And of course, professional jealousies. Again, watching them grow up, or watching me growing up, watching them. One of my favorite bands. Out of touch, you go on, or Private Eyes, they're watching you. Man Eater. The hits just keep on coming, but yeah, it gets to a point where, hey, no more. I got to protect my end. Especially when you're going behind another person's back and doing things you shouldn't be doing. So unfortunately, partnerships come to an end, sometimes not amicably, but it is what it is. And so you just hate to see it happen, but yeah, I don't blame them. If you got to protect what you have in the interest, got to protect it. No one else is going to protect it but you. So it just makes all the sense to do that. It really does. So, I mean, more power to him. I said before, Scooby-Doo always said, Rasta Rock. Yeah, you hate to see that happen. Let's see. NBC is a fan of its freshman dramas this season. The network has renewed both Found and The Irrational for season 2. Both were among the few scripted shows with new episodes in the primetime lineup this fall due to the writers and actors strikes. Both have 4 episodes left in their first season. Found will air new episodes on Tuesdays until January 12th, then return on January 9th, 2024 in the final two episodes of the season. The Irrational remaining episodes for the season will air beginning Monday, January 29th. These shows are a testament to the incredibly passionate work of our showrunners for both Found and The Irrational, both of whom have executed their visions flawlessly, said Lisa Katz, president of scripted content for NBC Universal Entertainment. A huge thanks go out to the talented cast, producers, and crews for their tireless commitment and dedication, which has clearly paid off in audiences, making the series must-see television on both NBC and the next day on Peacock. The Irrational is the number one new show this season in total viewers, and Found is number one new drama this season in the 18 to 49 demo. Found and The Irrational are the number one and number two broadcast series, respectively, in total viewers this season among Black audiences. They also are part of NBC's top digital launches to date across major platforms. First, congratulations to both shows. I've not seen Found yet, but I have been a fan of The Irrational from day one. The professor of behavioral science, Alec Mercer, played by the wonderful Jesse L. Martin. That's a unique experience to the array of high-stake cases involving government, law enforcement, and corporations. His insight and unconventional approach to understanding human behavior led him and the team on a series of intense, unexpected journeys to solve illogical puzzles and perplexing mysteries. Yeah, that was a great show. I've been a fan of that show since day one. And again, with all that's going on TV nowadays and streaming services, yeah, NBC really caught fire with both those programs. Found was good too. I've not seen Found yet, I said before. But The Irrational with Jesse L. Martin, yes. Yes, it's that good. I highly recommend it. So check your local listings for both programs. But The Irrational, yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff. Very cerebral, good writing. It flows. It doesn't have that type of stoppage with certain shows have sometimes. And it does make you think. I like shows like that. So yeah, absolutely. So check it out. Again, The Irrational. So again, of course, it's Free Your Mind Saturday. I've got another half hour left in the program. Please type in the comment section anything you want to talk about or call in at 312-597-2106 to hear your voice, because your voice matters. It does. Also, you want to go through my YouTube channel, the Chris Base channel. Make sure you click below to subscribe to the official Chris Base channel on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Make sure you do all that. Amy Robach and TJ Holmes have a lot in store for their highly anticipated iHeartRadio podcast, Amy and TJ. In a joint post shared to Instagram 1 week ahead of their audio debut, the former GMA3 What You Need to Know co-anchors hinted they would be dropping some major bombshells in their upcoming podcast. Why, yes, we will be serving tea. Everybody serving tea. I drink tea. 1 week from today, Amy and TJ, the couple, captioned a photo of them caught in a candid moment while recording a new episode, a cup of tea placed on the table in front of them. Listen on the iHeartRadio app and everywhere podcasts are heard December 5th. Earlier this month, Robot, who's 50, Holmes, 46, announced their return to the air and made their relationship public in a post shared to their social medias. How's this for Instagram official? Silent no more, hashtag. They wrote alongside a photo of the two smiling as they held each other in an embrace. Amy and TJ, December 5th, listen on the iHeartRadio app and everywhere podcasts are heard. At Amy and the TJ podcast. Coincidentally enough, Amy and TJ will launch December 5th, the same day the broadcast journalists were temporarily removed from daytime television in 2022 following the news of their romance. ABC News President Kim Goodwin said they shared the network's decision with staff that morning during the routine 9 a.m. editorial call. Kim, see, I think it's Godwin. I got it in two different names. I think it is Godwin. Said she wanted to address the internal and external distraction between two colleagues. Is what people said last year. This wasn't a special call, and it happens every day. And she took that time to address the situation to the staff. She said, even though this isn't a violation of policy, she took time to think about it and wanted to work through what was best for her. And for now, they're decided to take TJ and Amy off the air while they figure things out. So this, of course, during that time. So the two first sparked romance rumors on November 30th, 2022, after photos surfaced of them holding hands in the car during a vacation in upstate New York and closing up to a bar in New York City. At the time, Robach was still married to actor Andrew Shue, while Holmes was married to Marley Feibig. Well, yeah, as you know, like they said, it happens every day. You have romance from the office because you hang out with these people, what, 8 hours a day, sometimes more, depending on what your job, details. And you may catch feelings for somebody. It can happen. So in that situation, I mean, adults act like adults do. But I didn't see anything wrong with it personally. I got the wrong with it was the fact they were still married to somebody else and they were dealing like that, and it got public. So even though it happens all the time, it became so public. Kim Godwin had to look at how their integrity would be viewed by others in the media and beyond. Because if you go by a moral standpoint, you have these two people who were currently married and then have an affair pretty much in the public eye. That's not good for ABC News because GMA, Good Morning America 3, or programs like that are under the umbrella of ABC News department. So you can't have that. So they had to go. But they're resurfacing as of December 5th with their own podcast. Good morning, Elle. So good morning, Chris Bates. Good morning, L. Ellie. How you doing? Thank you for being here. Yeah, that's yeah, they had to go. Now I remember seeing some of the pics that they had shown during that time when they were together. I mean, TJ and Amy, and they were going somewhere camping, and Amy was reaching in the back of the truck to get some items out, and there's a still picture of TJ grabbing her ass. And when you do that, you're in love with somebody. He had a handful. He was right there in the middle of the crack. He it, he had a handful, and when you grab somebody by the ass like that, that means you're in love. Must been a lot of love because he had a lot of handful right there. So again, it shouldn't be a big deal, but it is a big deal at the time because of the integrity of the news department. Yeah, when you look, let me tell you something. It's an unwritten rule, but it is what it is. When you grab somebody's ass, I mean, a good hand. First of all, they have to have ass to begin with. Not everybody has asses around here. God love them. They probably sit on bone, and they probably have pelvis issues. But if you have enough cushion for pushing, and you see my hands, you see what I'm saying? Like, I can work with. Look, you give me look at that, look. So you grab a handful of ass, and it fits right in the palm of it. That's love. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's love. When you, I mean, get that grip, when you grip your hips and move, that's love. Elle says definitely LOL. Yes, yes, absolutely. Because you can't be grabbing everybody's ass like that. I mean, everybody go to jail. I don't want to go to jail. Yeah, well, you go to jail because you did not get permission to grab somebody's ass. But when you grab it and they're okay with it, then that's love. Other times, I think if they came out early, it would have landed a little better. It could have, but see, that's when again. But see, the moral issue, L, is the fact that they were both married. Had they divorced their ex loved ones and announced they're a couple, that could have been landed better. But at the time, they were still in marriages and relationships. And again, also from a moral standpoint, if you ABC News, it just does not look good at all. So they had to make a move and had to give them both the acts. And they had to go. Then they were talking about the history that TJ had about womanizing there at ABC. And those stories that come out too. So it just didn't look good all the way around. It was no dice on either side. So yeah. And I think they were generally falling in love with each other. I go along with that. My mom, who watches GM3, was saying during that time like that they were a little bit too friendly. I'm like, Mom, what are you talking about? A little bit too friendly? They ass grabbing or something like that? She was like, no, but they just their banter back and forth seemed like a little bit too. They know each other a little bit too well. There's nothing wrong with that, but again, it goes back to ethics, how it looks on screen, and things of that nature. Doesn't look good at all. But you know what happens? They'll bounce back, and they have, and they're going to have once again the podcast coming up via iHeartMedia. They probably try to go to other stations and probably didn't want anything to do with it, or the deal wasn't coming off well. They decided to move on. But yeah, it's a good start to get back into. I think since they're TV people, they're probably get back into TV in some way, shape, or form. But right now, take what you can get and build upon that. They knew of his history when he was hired. But again, right. But if you know that and combined with the fact that at that time, it's just not a good look for ABC to house these two people, regardless. Because see, you can have stuff behind the scenes. I didn't know anything about TJ Holmes's Mackin ability until the story came out. See, in-house stuff, you can control that. But when it out in the public ether, that's a whole different conversation, which is what happened with TJ and Amy. So now when that came forward, the whole TJ and Amy thing, now there's the backstory on both of them. Not so much Amy, but TJ had a record a mile wide, a mile long. You know, slinging this stuff through half of ABC News when it came to the females. Otherwise, they will get a new show. I don't know. I think time will tell. It's possible. Look, anytime Gayle King and Charles Barkley have a show, it's hope for all of us on television. I set it my DVR for some reason did not record it. Maybe it realized it was a stink on toast. But I did set up to be recorded on gonna be on CNN. For some reason it didn't record, but I did set up, it didn't record unfortunately, so I've not seen it. Of course, the merger of Gayle King and Charles Barkley on CNN. Yeah, I was curious, like most, to take a look at it. I'm kind of fearful of it. I'll take Charles, but I like Charles. I like his banter. I'm not a big fan of Gayle King at all. Not at all. And it's awful. LOL. I'll take your word for it. I take your word for it. As before, I'm not a big fan of Gayle King at all. Not in the slightest. I'll take Chuck. Yeah, I'll take Chuck roast any day of the week. L says, I agree. Yeah, Chuck, look, man, look, and speaking of Chuck, so get this. So Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, Ernie Johnson, uh, and the Inside the NBA crew are going to have a merge broadcast. And this is the NBA's inaugural in-season tournament on December 7th, when the host of Inside the NBA will merge with ESPN's analyst Stephen A. Smith and Michael Wilbon. And this will be a joint venture between TNT and ESPN of a blended coverage of the in-season tournament semifinal stage. Let's see. Uptight didn't get 1 million viewers. You referring back to the King Charles program, L? So I was saying the Inside the NBA crew combined with ESPN's, and that's once again, Inside the NBA is on TNT, ESPN, with Screaming A. Smith and Michael Wilbon. They will do a blended broadcast of the NBA's inaugural in-season tournament December 7th. I'm looking forward to it. Not Screaming A. Smith. I'm not really a big fan of his, so that's gonna be cool. Michael Wilbon, yeah, I love that brother. Chicago native, wrote for this the Washington Post. Has a great insight when it comes to sports. Like him as an analyst, it's going to be cool. They could left Screaming A. Smith at home, but of course he's the face of ESPN, so he has to be a part of it. So I'm going to, in my mind, block him out and watch the other cats do it. So Shaq, Chuck, Kenny Smith, Ernie Johnson, Michael Wilbon, that's going to be great television. It's going to be fantastic. I cannot wait. That's going to be great. Not Screaming A. Smith. No, hell no. I do not like Gayle King at all. L types, and you referring to, yes, yes, I am. We mentioned about didn't get 1 million viewers. But see, it's hard to get 1 million anything nowadays because it's so chopped up into various forms of media where you have traditional television, cable, social media, streaming services. So if you get 1 million something, you're actually doing pretty good, but that's difficult these days to get 1 million anything because everything's all chopped up into various forms of broadcasting and social media platforms. But yeah, that blended broadcast of TNT and ESPN with the people I mentioned, with the exception of Screaming A. Smith, that's going to be great. And you have to be a sports fan. Inside the NBA really is the best pre, half, and post sports show of any sports. They cover basketball, obviously, but it's the best across the board in any sports whatsoever. The ratings are horrible. I can imagine. I mean, again, you're taking a really strong gamble of two different. Well, that's what you're supposed to do anyway. You get two different personalities and see what happens when you put them in there together. Yeah. Yeah, they can have that. I still want to check it out just out of curiosity's sake, but yeah, doctor, can't do it. Cool, can't do it. L times, I love Stephen A. Smith. Why? Why? Well, you're the one. You got to help me out because I do not. I can't with that brother. I can't do it. L, you and type this straight. She typed, "I love Stephen A. Smith." I'm sorry, I can't. Hell no. Okay, L. I don't know how busy you are. You have to call in and talk about why you love Stephen A. Smith. I'm sorry, Screaming A. Smith. Why, how can you? There's nothing to love there. Nothing to love about that man. What is your dislike towards him? Okay, I'll tell you what, because I like to hear your voice anyway. I like to hear it. So do me a favor, call in if you can. Let me know if you call in. If you cannot, I'll explain. If you can, I'll tell you when you call in. Because again, I can't. No, I'm just curious of why you use the word love for Stephen A. Smith. Because no, too much coonery buffoonery for me. He's direct. Okay, but no. No, I can't. No, I respect, and maybe you can't call in. That's cool. I respect his acumen. Give me a few. She typed. Okay, I'll wait. I'm always interested. Don't be wrong. I kind of see where the appeal would be, and I used to like him in his earlier stages. There was a guy who's go up against Skip Bayless, who now works for Fox Sports One. So Skip and him used to be on First Take together, and I liked how he would check Skip Bayless. That's why I liked him. But then after Skip Bayless left to go to Fox Sports One and create his own thing, the so-called godfather of sports debate, Stephen A. became this. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. It just doesn't. I don't like the act. The acumen of him being a beat writer for Philadelphia all those years, covering the Philadelphia 76ers during the Allen Iverson era, was great. As a matter of fact, Allen Iverson is going to get a statue with his likeness put outside of the stadium there coming up soon. That's going to be great. I respect his acumen, but as far as his act on television, it's just that's no good. I can't take it. Let's see here. So the 76ers icon Allen Iverson hinted at a forthcoming honor that would further solidify his place as one of the franchise's all-time greats. The basketball legend shared a video on his Instagram saying he was getting a statue on the Sixers Legends Walk outside their practice facility in Camden, New Jersey. We'll go out to the phones. Good morning. Who is this? Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. I can hear you, but hold on. Let me say it. I don't know why it's not going through there. Okay. Let's try this. Hey, El, how you doing? I'm good. I'm good. So help me out with this. So you love Stephen A. Smith.
I do, because he's very direct. And I think he says things that people want to say, but they are afraid to say.
Okay, this is what I don't like about him. The act that he has is a very bad combination of a wannabe Morris Day and the Jefferson season 5. He the whole wannabe player thing, and I'm always right mentality. I don't like that. And like I said before, I used to like him a few years back, but now he has amalgamated into something that I didn't really care for. He is the face of ESPN. The man makes $8 million a year, so you can't tell him anything. I understand that. I respect his acumen, but I don't like the act. And the one thing that pisses me off what he does is that when he's talking to somebody on the panel, he says they're wrong. It's not wrong, it's just different. And he has a bad habit of doing that. 2 plus 2 equals 17. That's wrong. But if you have a difference of opinion, it's just different. Doesn't make it wrong. And that's one of his go-tos to elevate himself. So the little tricks of the trade that he's been doing, I don't really care for. So no, I can't give it. I respect you loving a Stephen A. Smith, but me, Screaming A. Smith, is not in the category for me at all.
You know what? I said now. I don't know. I mean, I do that a lot too. When you watch me, Dr. Fight and I, we go back and forth quite a bit, and I will tell Dr. Fight too that he's wrong. He'll tell me that I'm wrong as well, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's our opinion.
Right. It's an opinion, but it doesn't make it wrong. Again, it's just the wording that he uses. Oh, no, brother, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. No, that's not it. It's just different. So it's not a matter of being wrong. It's a matter of, again, wordage. And but see, with him, if you get the best of him, he can't take it. And I noticed that he had a former partner there, Max Kellerman. And Max Kellerman, I think, was a good partner for him. But even Screaming A. Smith said publicly that I got rid of Max. Now he's mentioned he's been on the Breakfast Club at other programs and publicly said he got rid of that man. Why? Because the man was too challenging for him. And to me, that's very petty.
Now I agree with you there. That's interesting because I think you should be able to hold your own, no matter if you stand in your own truth. You should be able to stand your own with anyone. So I think that was wrong. But I love him because he's very direct, and he just says the things that I just this hits home to me. He said something one time about Beyonce. That she's a good performer, but she's not the best he's ever seen. And people got in his butt about that. Which I agree with him about. I agree with him on that. He had said things about Will and Jada that I agree that people may not wanted him to say, but and I like that. I like that. Plus, here's the thing: he's a Smith, and that anybody, Ellis is my married name, so of course, Smith is my maiden name, and we're just never wrong. This is how we roll. That's just what it is.
Oh, don't say things like that. You gotta be ashamed of yourself. Don't throw yourself in the category. And don't be wrong. See, now that makes all the sense in the world because when you get on your high horse, I'm like, she's serious. And then don't get me wrong, I love Elle. Elle's my girl, and I've been invited on her show a couple of times as a guest. But relationship wise, Elle, you sit there and relive the whole encounter, the relationships, and you get pissed and mad all over again.
See, I'm
You're what?
And you all think I'm reliving it, but I'm not. It's just the experience that I have. And that's the same thing with Steve. A woman in his life or whatever, and she did some things like Jada has done. He's like, oh no. And so it gives you a few flashbacks like, oh, the hell no moment.
Well,
and so I appreciate his directness. I really do. And sometimes I can say, oh, he's wrong. He maybe shouldn't have said that, but I still like the directness from him.
Well, I thank you for calling in and stating your case. Now you made the Smith thing that you have now. Now it makes all the sense in the world because he's a Smith and you're a Smith and everybody's a Smith and everything else. So it starts to make some sort of sense now. So I thank you.
I need Jada to drop the Smith because she's no Smith. She's an embarrassment as a Smith. So I'm going to need her to drop that name.
Okay.
I need her to do it. Okay.
All right, Elle. Thanks so much for calling in. Thank you so much.
Okay.
You take care.
Oh, you too. Have a good one.
You too, sweetheart. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And again, like I said, I just wanted to hear why you like the man. I'm just curious in that. And once again, thank you, Elle, for calling in. She has a program of her own. Elle, you still there? Type in where people find your program at on social media. There's a talk show as well. Oh man! So like I said before, I respect his acumen, but that act of his just that ain't cool, man. It just stinks. I told you it's a bad combination of a wannabe Morris Day combined with George Jefferson on season 5 of the Jeffersons, Sherman Hemsley. It does. So let's see here. So before we wrap it up, cartoon of the week came out in 1974. The New Adventures of Gilligan. It had 2 seasons, and of course it continues on from the TV show. Obviously, pretty much had the original cast. You had Bob Denver, Alan Hale. Who else you had on here? Natalie Schaefer, Mrs. Howell, Jim Backus as Thurston Howell III, And let's see, Russell Johnson playing the professor. But then you had a lady named Jane Webb who did the voices of Marianne and Ginger. Other than that, is the cast is still the same. It was still the same. So very cool. I used to watch that too. Um, what I liked about those type of cartoons is that they were able to get the original voices from the TV series, kind of similar to Star Trek, the animated series. They had the original people. They got Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner, Forrest Kelly, everybody on there. It was an interesting backstory about, say, for example, Star Trek. It was also on Saturday mornings. So William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy was approached to do the Star Trek animated series. And so Leonard Nimoy had asked about the other cast members who's going to play the rest. And they're like, no, we'll get somebody else to voice sound-alikes. And it was Leonard Nimoy. I said, well, why don't you call up the original actors and see what they say? Well, we'll just get a couple of people and have them do it. Say, well, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be a part of it. To at least call out to them and go from there. Everybody be paid equally. And that's how it was. I mean, William Shatner was, I guess, was okay with his, but Leonard Nimoy was that dude. He looked out for you. That was cool. That was a good story to come across because again, he figured, well, look, we all can reprise our roles. At least give them a phone call to see if they can come out and do it. And they did. Everybody got paid equally. There was nobody getting paid higher than the other person to revitalize their iconic characters in animation and cartoon. So again, between that and going back to New Adventures of Gilligan, yeah, those are interesting times to get a chance to bring back the original people. Well, it's like things happen, unfortunately, like going back to an unfortunate death of Robin Harris when the Baby's Kids movie had come out. Bernie Mac was supposed to be the original person to voice Robin Harris. Why I know that? Because Bernie Mac told me himself. I met Bernie Mac that one time when I was a producer for WLS FM, and I talked to him for an hour in the green room at the radio station. Just a very kind man, very approachable. I asked all the questions I could within an hour time, and he had told me about the story of how the Hudlin brothers had reached out to him to voice Robin Harris's voice for the Baby Kids cartoon animated movie. And for some reason, he had some sticking points because they said we can't cover your room and board and your flight. So he was like, well, tell you what, I'll come out there to voice it. At least you guys can cover one. You can't cover both. If I cover the flight, you cover the room and board and vice versa. Because he really wanted to do it. Robin Harris was a good friend of his. He wanted to do it in honor of him. But the Hudlin brothers didn't want to go for that. And he decided to go with, of course, Faison Lowe. Faison did a fantastic imitation of Robin Harris for that animated movie, but it's supposed to be Bernie Mac. So, plans being laid, and unfortunately, it didn't lay out the way it's supposed to. But had everything gone according to plan, Bernie Mac would have voiced Robin Harris's voice for the Baby Kids movie. But there you go. So you get a chance to get the original person, you're doing all right. Well, then again, it depends on the talent of the person. So, for example, remember the animated series, the PJs, the superintendent, super of the projects. It was like a claymation deal, and Eddie Murphy had voiced the voice of the superintendent, and Eddie Murphy had stopped, and Phil Morris took over the voice, and you never would have known it wasn't Eddie Murphy. That's how good he was. So again, these voiceover talents are fantastic, but you never would have known it. So again, as always, this has been great. Thank you as always for being a part of the ride this morning as we do this every Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern, and of course that's 7 a.m. Central and 5 a.m. on the West Coast. But continue to sleep and catch on the replay. Or you have to be up. Let us know that you're here, that you're wide awake. Also, I said before, programming note, CBI, Chris-based interviews, returns this upcoming Wednesday. That's December 6th at 4 p.m. Central Time. So, of course, the YouTube channel that you are a part of, please get on that, subscribe, be a part of it. Make sure you're part of the official Chris Base YouTube channel and be a part of that. Subscribe, like, and share. And YouTube, Walter, peace to the funk. And peace to the funk. I've got the peace to the funk to YouTube. And make sure you subscribe, like, and share for the Chris Base channel exclusively on YouTube. And of course, catch me also here on Facebook Live. I don't even talk about my beloved Bear anymore because it hurts. I can't tell you who they're playing. I can't tell you what's going on, but hey, God love them. Ooh, wait. Let's see. Looking forward to checking out the Candy Cane Lane on Prime Video. I'm going to check that out. So that's going to be pretty cool as well. So yeah, relax, enjoy yourself, get your libation or whatever turns you on. Food and beverage. Once again, thanks for the ideas for breakfast. I'll look into it and see what's what. And so always out there, I thank you for being a part of this. Can never do it without you. Continue to be safe. Continue to be sound. Continue to be healthy. Most importantly, above anything else, continue to be loved. Long live the peace. Long live, I'm doing the wrong thing. Long live the peace. Long live the funk. More power to you. And do something nice and be kind.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Base.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in BaseLine. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Base YouTube channel.